Hey, ladies and gents, welcome to the Sky View. My name is Semler, and joining me for this interview is Jagosh. Did you have a good stay? You're well rested for the tournament?
Not really. I'm pretty tired for now. I'm sleeping in Thorsten's place, so that's comfortable over there. I will try to get some rest before my games and then do whatever I can.
You know, there was some big news announced recently that you just came out with, is that you're finishing up school in May. You're going to go full-time pro for a year, was it?
Yeah, most probably for 1 year. It's nothing official yet, but most probably, yes, after I finish my exams, I will go for a 1 year break.
Do you have any goals that you set for yourself by the end of the year that you want to attain?
Yeah, at least I want to win one big event, like DreamHack, maybe winter, maybe summer. I don't know, IPL, maybe MLG, just one big event for me, at least one.
So there's no limitation, like you're planning on going everywhere. There's nowhere you're ruling out, like you're going to hit MLG and NASL, are you going to participate in?
Yeah, I'm playing in NASL Season 3. I hope I can qualify, and if I can win NASL Season 3, yeah, that will be one of the big achievements for me.
I certainly have a nice prize check as well, I think. Yeah, they do pretty
big one.
So apparently, we are on the top of the biggest globe in the world, and they sell 10,000 hamburgers a year. You know, they had us watch a video before we got on. It was full of crucial information, such as it would take 40 years to fill the globe if you left a tap on, running water. 40 years. I really needed to know that kind of stuff before I got on here, but also I think 175,000 hot dogs.
Yes, indeed, that's correct. That's correct. So I will do my best to play the best here. And if I can practice a lot, well, I will just practice a lot and see what happens. I think Stefano does take another year off, so he will still be the best foreigner, I believe, but I want to become the best Protoss foreigner.
Well, I mean, we're coming down to the end of the ride here. Do you have anything you'd like to say real quick to your fans or anything at all?
Well, support me, keep on supporting me, I believe.
Oh,
well, we're back.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, that was a little bit shocking.
Looks like we're back then. PC issues almost resolved here, and we will be going into the first semi-final very shortly. Red has actually joined the game, so yes, we are ready to get this underway.
Yeah, I think we can actually press the start button whenever you're ready, man. We should ask these players if they're ready.
I should actually, shouldn't I? I don't ask them, just hit it anyway.
I thought you were about to say, like, I don't know, I think I'm going to make them wait now. I was like, Paul, we got to go, man. You can't make them wait any longer.
It's like Rhett's PC's resolved, and now he's like, yeah, I'm ready. And Polt's like, no, just 1 minute, please. I'm like, could you not have done that before?
He said he just needs a sec, and it'll be all right.
Yeah, maybe he typoed, and maybe he meant sex. I don't know. I'm like...
I don't know, man. I guess.
No, he's ready. He's ready. All right,
the C is next to the X on the keyboard, I guess.
All right, let's get this game underway. The first map is gonna be Daybreak. Terran versus Zerg, one of the most spectator-friendly,
spectator-friendly
matchups. There we go. Get that out. It's been a long day.
It'll be a spectacle for sure.
It's gonna be an awesome series. And of course, there is a lot of fans here. Both these guys, fantastic personalities within the StarCraft 2 community. Polt really did come out of his shell when he started doing interviews in English and has a great personality. And let's see how this is going to go down. In the top right here, we have none other than Team SCV Life. It is Polt. And then down in the bottom left, hello again, we do have none other. This is getting more and more awkward every time this happens. This is none other than Liquid Ret.
Next time you have to introduce us when we're on
I know.
camera.
Next time, that's it, man. And in between the players is Apollo and Wolf. All right, let's see how this is going to go down. Like we said, we talked a little bit about this match before. One thing to keep in consideration before we talk about it, Polt is undefeated still in this tournament. Yep. One map, that's it.
That's it, indeed. And, you know, in this match, I'm really, really looking forward to see what Ret's going to do. It's been a long time since I've seen him take on such a strong Terran player in a big tournament like this. It seems like every time I watch him lose, it's in a ZVZ or a ZVP, but in ZVT against someone of this caliber on the big stage, I'm really looking forward to see what strategies he can put out. You mentioned earlier he's someone who really likes his mutalist control, but right now mutas are not that popular. People have been using this new investor style, and I wonder what Ret's going to do on this map.
Yeah, there's still a really close debate actually between, you know, using mutalist or not. And sometimes we've actually seen the switch back over to mutalist because Terran players were taking it a little bit too lightly. They were not building turrets. They were being incredibly greedy. And certain players were like, well, I guess it's time to go back to mutalist and see what damage can be dealt. But one thing, as we can see over in Polt space, is he has opted for a gasless style here. And going gasless on such a big map is basically inviting Ret to spread that creep out.
Yeah, basically. So he may do what Polt and many other Terrans often do when they go for this one barracks expand, is to double gas right away afterwards and get those Hellions out as soon as possible. But it will allow Ret to build up his crease spreads a little bit. And as you can see, there are the double gases going down for Polt. Very likely he will be expanding, getting that Reactor Hellion out behind this expansion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Reactor Hellion is the stage one of taking the double gases here. And then basically after that, he can change it and kind of has a pivot point where he can swing either way, whether it be just continue with mech, whether it be Cloak Banshee, whether it be just over into a regular tank play. And Ret is mining, or just actually come out of gas, has got speed really, really early here. But that's not really going to be too useful considering what Polt is doing here, you know, sitting back, being more defensive, unless we see Ret play more aggressive style with Roach, Baneling. They actually do catch a lot of Terran players off guard, especially on a map such as Daybreak, where players do tend to focus more on their economy than not here.
Sometimes they cut corners. That's something we may see from Polt here. Right now he is making a bunker, though, at his command center. Something to note about how he's doing that is because the trends right now in Korea are to do big Zergling attacks. He's making it as right next to his command center rather than the front, so the Zerglings don't run by. That's a very safe and smart choice by Polt. The reactor, as we predicted earlier, is going up for that factory. And Ret, you know, he's pulled his drones out of gas all but one, so I don't think we're going to see any really heavy aggression out of him. And likely, he may try to take a fast third base, as is normally his style, but against Terran, that's pretty tough to do.
He's got overlords in such key locations already. Has one on the natural that's about to poke in, just double check that his opponent has actually expanded, considering he has not sent a drone scout out whatsoever. And then he has another overlord at the north, which will make its way all the way towards the main base of Polt to actually find out what is going on here. And there is a starport. Looks like we are going to see a tech lab down on this barracks. It is going to be a Cloak Banshee opening.
Yeah, the Cloak Banshee follow-up is so popular right now, and I'm really excited to see how Ret deals with that, because he's probably going to even likely expect this. His Overlord isn't in position just yet to see what's going on. but he may be there in time, and even if he's not, I'm really curious to see how he's going to reply. Look at this fast. They're coming out for Rhett, now taking his second gas. This is third and fourth, not quite yet. The Hellions are moving out here to do a little bit of pressure on this crease spread. The Spine Crawler not quite up in time. He may decide to run by to get some scouting information, but I don't think he will.
And this fast layer here for Rhett is going to be so that he can go straight up to this Spire, and that's going to be really the best thing possible against this style we're seeing from Polt. Lings making chase to these Hellions, but Hellions, they shouldn't really make a mistake here. They can go all the way around. Look at that, it even darts in between the Lings, and nice little maneuver there by Polt, who escapes with all two.
Yep. And now he's joined up. He's got 4 Hellions here. And Rhett's going to be the one who needs to control his Lings now, losing several of them here. Things can change in a quick flash like that. Rhett starting to push his creep out in 2 different directions, though, getting that spread as well as he can. Meanwhile, back at home for Polt, his first Banshee is about to come out. His Cloak is 2/3 the way done. And like you're saying, that Spire is going to be exactly what Rhett wants to deal with this Cloak Banshee play. It's going to be basically the best thing for him. He hasn't started it yet, though.
Yeah, there it is. Just about to pop down on the natural. Has also started to research +1 melee attacks, so these Lings are going to be pretty vicious once upgraded. The Banshee is coming, though. There is quite a window of opportunity for this Banshee to do damage. Of course, an Overseer can be made immediately, but there's only going to be a single Queen on each of these expansions to defend it, and the Banshee enters. Rhett, where is that Overseer?
It's not ready yet. There it's going, starting now. He cloaks, does get 3 drone kills. Looks like he'll get a 4th one very likely here. And the question is, how long will he stick around? The Overseer is about to pop. Looks like he may sacrifice the Banshee if he doesn't get out right now.
Oh, he tries to grab that last drone, misclicks and hits the Queen, unfortunately. So does get 6 kills, still pretty damn good. And a second Banshee is on its way out now. These Hellions in the center just controlling the map really, really nicely. But the Spire not quite ready yet, 80%. And let's have a look what Polt's doing inside his main base. He's actually added on a bunch of barracks now. Double engineering bay to follow this, and of course that 3rd command center ever so quickly. And this hatchery is in a bit of danger, actually. Creep spread not quite connected, and in goes the Banshee.
Banshee going in to do a little bit of harassment on the hatchery with these Hellions to come and add some additional firepower. He may have to cancel it if he doesn't get over there right now. In fact, he's not really reacting, and the Hellions have not quite gone over there just yet.
Yeah, I think he's kind of just going to have to sacrifice it here. The Queen did decide to move down, and then he decided to stay put.
This is really weird. He does have to cancel it, and he may try to save the drone. Nope, gets taken out.
And this Overlord is getting beaten down by a Viking. But Mulus are now out, and the Banshee harass will be stopped, sorry. And it is moving across now. Banshee immediately, oopsie daisy, going to have to be cloaked and run away. Now, let's see, what damage can be dealt by these Mulers? Nothing, of course, has happened yet, but he has to do
turret.
Something.
Yeah, he's got a turret up in his main base. The turret is going down in the natural. The Marines do not have stim yet. It's only 2/3 of the way done. And he should be able to defend this first wave if he micros correctly. It looks like Rhett's hesitating a little bit, trying to find that Banshee. And he's not really going to be able to do anything here. 16 drones in production, though, as he continues to take these additional hatcheries.
And Banshee, gonna go back in here, as well as Hellions towards the 3rd base. There's nothing there yet, so not going to be able to do anything. The Overseer is there, and the Banshee does fall down. Rhett picks it off. And let's have a look at the infrastructure. So sickening here for Polt. He's just got so much stuff. And Rhett is continuing to make Mutalists. He's at 9 right now. We'll be going over to 11. Is double expanding at the same time, considering he's been stuck on 2 bases for quite a long time here. And Polt did delay that. Another Banshee going inside the main base here. There's no, there is the Overseer, but
he's taking out so many drones. Even with the Overseer here, the Mutas were out of position, and Polt is completely content to take out those drones. In total, now the worker count is 76 to 65, which is not ideal for Rhett, but there's no 3rd base just yet for Polt.
And these Hellions still being a nuisance. He may actually decide to land the scan, but Mulus are actually there, so he's going to run back. But still, nothing has been done to slow down Polt here by Rhett. More reactors coming down on this barracks, finally moving down this command center.
Yeah, he's going to land that command center, and Rhett is not going to be able to contest him very easily. He does have a few Mutas down here, but now Stim is done. Combat shields are not yet finished yet. They're just now beginning. It all depends on whether or not Polt can get his Marines into position. And look at this, he already has them. this Command Center will very easily be able to land, and Rhett now is in an uncomfortable situation. He's teching up to Infestation Pit. He's got 2-2 upgrades on the way. Luckily for him, he's been able to secure that top left base. I like that choice. It was kind of a risky one, but with the mutos out, I think he felt comfortable to do that, and I like that because with that 4th base up, he's going to feel a little bit more comfortable than he would have if he was just sticking with the 3 and trying to get those upgrades out a little bit more safely.
And the king of drones, man. 94 drones for Rhett, of course. Always reaching that 100 mark almost every single game. And he does have 2-2 on the way, has a great economy, of course, as we can see. Polt, though, look at that. Polt is just fantastic. Doesn't quite have the gas income until these refineries do complete. Mulis do look to enter the main. They do have +1 attack, so they will be able to pick off these turrets. There are a couple of holes in here. Combat shields being one of the biggest.
He's going to go for the reactors. Going for the combat shields may have been a better choice. Looks like he's going to go for it, and they may not finish. He barely chases them away. That was a close call, but he does take out 1 reactor. That's a lot of lost production time.
And I love how Rhett is more than happy to sit back and say, all right, well, I don't necessarily need to do damage to my opponent. I'll just go hive a little bit faster. And the hive is halfway from being done now. Oh my God, Rhett. The first mistake here today, losing quite a few Mulis there. A lot of Lings here. I wonder if he's going to morph to Banelings and try to snipe this 3rd base.
I think he very well might, man. He has 100 Lings in total. His hive is almost done. He's got a Spire on the way, and he's going to start dumping some of that excess gas into these Banelings.
He does not know about the wall, though, and if he continues to commit to this, he's going to waste a lot of resources here. It doesn't look like he is going to, but the hive is done. The Spire,
he's getting a Spire, the 2nd Spire is on the way. It's going to allow him to get those better upgrades for his Broodlords. He already has the +1. He can start Carapace if he wants. He can even start +2. And I'm a little bit surprised. The one thing I'm super surprised about is he has not started Adrenal Glands yet. With this many Zerlings on the map, that upgrade would be so important.
And there it is coming down, and Polt moves out, and Rhett moves in, and the supply depot wall is up, and he's not going to get anything here until the Banelings arrive, and that bunker and supply depot, oh, Rhett, the Banelings are at the back.
Yeah, he did not quite control his Banelings as well as he could, but now they're going to hit these Marines, which is pretty fortunate. He could potentially go for the SCVs as well. He doesn't hit very many of these Marines. Now he does, getting a pretty good hit there, and Polt is not turning around. He's actually sticking in the middle of the map. He's going to lose a lot of his reinforcements here.
Yeah, and how much damage is Rhett really doing here? Sure, he's killing a few Marines, but they're going to be replenished incredibly easy here. And now he's sacrificed a lot of units, a lot of Banelings and Lings, and Polt is moving across the map. Banelings are moving
really
in.
Nice Marine splits, and the tanks are sieging up. I'm not sure if this is a good engagement for Rhett. Meanwhile, though, his Zerglings are killing more and more SCVs at the 3rd base.
Oh, and that's the damage necessary, but at the same time, he's about to lose his 4th base. 2 Banelings try to get more, but Polt snaps them in half. And oh my God, Rhett is in a really awkward position. Bailey's trying to go in.
Oh, the Marine splitting is pretty good though, and the tank's trying to do what they can, even though he's going to probably clean this up. He took a lot of hits, and in fact, no, he will not clean this up.
Oh, and at this 4th base, the drones are going down, and if the hatchery goes down, no longer Rhett will have his supreme economy. He does have 5 Brutals being morphed. He's trying to hold on to this 4th base up at the top left. More and more Lings come in. Will he be able to hold on?
It's looking pretty tough at this point. The hatchery getting very low, about 400 hit points. He's stimming, running away to the side. He will get that hatchery. Now the worker count about 61 to 70, still in Rhett's favor, but 3-3 is about to finish here, and Polt takes out the hatchery.
Yeah, he picks up and leaves. He has a 4th command center to income. Look at that, still pretty good for Polt. Okay for Rhett as well, actually, here. But he does have the Broodlords out. Infestors on the way as well here. And let's have a look at that. 7 Broodlords, another one about a morph. 2 Infestors out, 3 on the way, and his army's not looking too bad, to be honest, but Polt really doesn't have anything to combat this, you know, very late, heavy, high-tier army from Rhett.
Needs to be so careful with these Broodlords. He cannot allow them to be out in the open like this. If they get targeted down, he will lose this game. Polt with double the army supply of Rhett right now. If he catches these units, he will win this game, and he very well might. There are a few Infestors with this, which is going to make Polt a little bit reluctant. But if these tanks siege up and take out those Infestors, Rhett is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And Rhett knows he's in trouble. He actually decided to go for a counterattack here, and now he's did decide to pull back. What is he going to do here? Is he going to try to come around, or is he going to go for it? And he does enter here. Marines though at 3-3. He gets into the bunker immediately. Ooh, how much damage is Rhett going to do here?
Well, that is a good question, but meanwhile, Apollo, he's going to attack over here at the Broodlords that are a little bit isolated. And it looks like with a scan, he sees the Infestor, decides not to. The attack, meanwhile, does commence in the main. Oh, he's going for it now.
Really good position, though, for Rhett. And as long as he fungos both ways in, and he does, but the Brutals are taking damage from Thors. Oh my god, there's even more Marines down
too many flanks here. Rhett is losing his Brood Lords, and the Zerglies have been cleaned up in the main base. It's looking very good for Polt now, taking out these Infestors as well, and will kill the base at the top once more.
Oh, and TSL Polt kills the hatchery once again, and Rhett is knocked down. He does not have that army supply. He does not have a good economy of a 40 supply. Polt almost 5 times more here, and down go the remaining forces. Polt has 3 upgrades, and well, Marines are damn good in this scenario.
GG! Polt engaging perfectly against those Brute Lords, defending against every counterattack of Rhett, looking so strong in that first game.
And Rhett's looking at his screen, wondering what he can do to pull this back, but like you said, Polt playing a very solid game, minimal mistakes there. Do you think that Rhett maybe left him alone a little bit too long, let Polt get into rhythm?
Yeah, I feel like that may have been what happened. He wanted to attack the third base several times, but Polt had such a nice defense set up. Every single time Rhett went for a counterattack, you could see the potential to do a ton of damage was there. Every time it was like, oh my god, what is he going to be able to do with these lings? And then barely, Polt just held, lost a little bit, but was able to keep his main army alive.
The next map is going to be on EIZO Ohana. Interested to see how this one's going to go down, depending on how much these guys have actually practiced. This map, it has come into the ladder rotation most recently. We'll have to find out. Polt very strong, though.
Yeah, Polt looking
very strong
very good control, great decision making, knowing exactly where to engage. He found those isolated Brood Lords, and he attacked from 3 different sides, so he was able to avoid the Infestors. Even if Fungals went down on all the different sides, he just didn't have enough energy to deal with that many Marines coming from that many angles. Even the Thors coming into the mix, attacking those Brood Lords, and Thors tank a lot of Infestor hits. If you fungal a Thor, that's a huge unit, it takes a lot of space, basically. And he was able to just tear through that army as a result with the better upgrades as well.
And there's a reason why he's only lost 1 map this entire tournament. That's just a great feat in himself. And he's looking to push himself forward towards another European big final here.
Yeah.
Just won Assembly just a couple of months back in a dominating fashion. Will he be able to get a 2nd European title? Of course, that would be a great achievement for himself and also for the team SCV Life.
Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to see what we're going to see on this map. Rhett looked strong in that game with his drones, his economy management. The one thing I have to say about his play I didn't really like was he threw away a decent amount of mutas.
Yeah.
And then once he lost those mutas, the further ones, he wasn't able to stop Polt's multi-prong harassment. He started getting picked apart, and he seemed a little bit desperate with his counterattacks. Like I said, they always looked like maybe they're going to do a lot, but they just never really amounted to anything. Yeah,
and I like the investment into Mutalists anyway. Of course, you saw him deflect the Banshee, the Viking, and more importantly, scares Terran players into dropping you.
Yeah.
I mean, did we see a drop come there by Polt? And
no.
The answer was no because of that threat.
Yeah, and that's the threat of the mutas that went away when he lost them. That was when I feel like the tide turned for Polt. Yeah. He was able to push his way ahead as a result.
All right, so we're almost ready to get into this game. Remember, Red started off the series, against Genius, 1-0, then went to 1-1, pulling it back to win the series 2-1. So he's been under this pressure already here today. Handled it well on game number 3 against Genius.
When you watched his play against Genius, I think you saw what I saw, which was a refinement of play through the best of 3. It looked like in the first game, he looked strong, but a little bit shaky. And then in the second game, he kind of fixed those issues. And then the third game, he just looked like another person entirely. And that may happen again here against Polt.
And looks like we are now loading into the next map. Of course, EIZO Ohana. We are live here in Stockholm with the first semi-final between Polt and Red. Let's find out where these guys are going to spawn, how this game is going to go down. And we do have here a very intelligent player. Has got great results most recently, struggling here and there in Korea, but definitely doing well in the outside scene. This is TSL Polt. Looking very calm in that booth. And down in the bottom right, we do have none other than Liquid Rats.
Yep, Rhett, you know, like I said, I really feel like his first game in a best of 3 oftentimes is the game where he looks strong, but he's kind of figuring himself out. He's trying to figure out what type of style his opponent is playing in that game, and then he looks stronger in games 2 and 3. Now this map, Ohana, is a map where you can use basically any type of style that you want. The Mutalist style maybe not as effective on this map as it was on the last one. We could still see it potentially though.
I'm interested to see whether Polt's going to go gasless again here. I mean, there's two kind of arguments here to take the gas. Is number one, you can say, yeah, you can take the gas because it's not that big of a map in terms of distances from natural to natural, and of course Hellions pretty damn fast. But then the counter argument is that the natural of Rhett is so small. You know, it's almost a Shakira's plateau round where it's very difficult to get up there and even do any sort of damage.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do damage, and your opponent's going to be spreading creep towards that ramp. On the top of the ramp, they can spread it in different directions. You can even spread it to the left a little bit on this map, which is something we saw Rhett do a little bit against Genius, in fact. Now, on this map, it looks like in this particular game, Polt is going to be going for the command center without gas. Now, as he follows it up, he'll probably take the double gases, go for that same reactor, and we may even see Cloak Banshees again. This map is pretty decent for that, and in fact, I think we will.
I think it's even better on this map, actually. Yeah. Of course, because of these destructible rocks, how hard is it for Rhett to actually get anything down here to prevent Banshees taking that third base? That's time after time the reason why we see this build come into play. And that actually may force Rhett to go, straight up to lair, straight to Spire immediately again.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a map where he's going to necessarily want to do that, but it's a map he can do that on. And I mean, for all of these reasons we just listed, Polt's going to do it again. You can see the double gas going now. Again, very standard follow-up to this build, this very fast command center. And Rhett's play, let's talk a little bit about his play last game. What do you think he could have done better in the later stages of that game?
I don't think he could do anything better in the later stage. I think he did as best as he physically could. I think the problem was he made mistakes earlier on that made the later game a little bit too difficult for him.
Yeah.
You losing the Mulist, number one, using those Lings and Bailings on that third base, it didn't really do anything there. They killed a few Marines, but what are Marines at that stage of the game when you've got an army at your front door that, they're there for a reason. They're there to die. They're there to defend.
I completely agree with you on both fronts, and I feel like if there's a little bit more refinement, like I've said, in Rhett's play here, if he doesn't make those mistakes, his late game will look so much stronger.
We do see a different style coming out from Rhett, though, who's gone straight for 4 queens. Of course, we'll be wanting to creep spread immensely, and that's also going to help out against that style. Number one, it's going to get the creep spread towards that third base a lot faster, and number two, he's going to have 4 queens, which is of course fantastic defense, especially if he has a Spore Crawler or lair. It doesn't matter which one down in time for these Banshees to come in, which it looks like we're probably going to be seeing that upon the factory finishing here. And the bunker again, interesting decision. Oh my god, my microphone. So close towards the command center, especially on this map too. But, you did list the reasons why it is more advantageous to have that there.
Yeah, I like the choice. Now we're going to see this barracks moved here, and we'll probably see a starport started fairly soon, and the tech lab. And there's the tech lab. No starport started just yet, but he'll likely go for those Cloak Banshees that we saw last game. Triple gas going down now for Rhett. His first 3 gases. As you mentioned, he went for the 4 queens, getting that creep spread out very early. And when your opponent goes for those later Hellions, if you can get the creep spread out very, very soon down that ramp, you actually get an advantage. You can see down that ramp, whereas otherwise the Hellions would just camp the bottom of the ramp, stop your creep from expanding down there. So I like Rhett's choice to go for this 4 queen build after scouting the gases expand.
And look at this though, Polt's changing things about.
Yeah.
He's not going for the Starport, he's not going for the Cloak Banshee Medivac, he's actually just going to go for Stim here. And, that's going to be a little bit annoying for Rhett, who of course is prepared a little bit better for what happened in the first game. Is still able to go straight to lair though, has taken 3 gases. And Hellion 2 come, poke around at the front here, going to be able to do a bit of damage. Not really that much though, of course. Rhett doesn't really want to go off creep ever here, but he just wants to buy time with these queens to get these creep tumors down.
Oh, yeah, he's trying. The queen's doing a great job of denying him here, and that's so important to get those tumors down. If he wants to stop now, he's going to have to use a scan. Has to be careful with this queen though, does not want to lose a queen to a Hellion. And for now, Polt does pull back. He checks again for that third base. It's something he really is curious of knowing about. Evolution Chamber going up now, as well as the Lair. Evolution Chamber likely just to block here, as he already has one. He's getting +1 melee weapons. Will probably start Carapace at the second one. But that hatchery that's becoming a Lair, will that be for Spire? I think so. A fourth gas is going down.
Well, he's gone double Evolution Chambers, though.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to get +1 Carapace here for the ground. And because it was actually a delayed fourth gas here, so he doesn't rush up with the gas income. He has a decent amount, but that's going to be for the double upgrades. And the Bailey Nest coming down too. Red changing his style up, as the homeless guy in the crowd did say Red can be a little bit unpredictable
he is
in terms of what he's going to do.
Nice cancels on those tumors by Rhett so he can remake them later at a safer time. He's really actively spreading these tumors. He cancels them again, doing a great job making sure that his creep gets spread out, making sure the Hellions can't shut him down, being very creative with how he spreads it, spreading it oftentimes on the high ground, and he's going to be able to push it onto the low ground later, but he's making use of those queens. He's not just saying, well, there's Hellions there, so I guess I can't do it.
This is why we actually see a lot of players, most recently Zerg players, bringing in the Roach War and kind of help out with these Hellions. He still hasn't got a third base down, and with this style, you really do want to get that down. His creep is working really well, and he's got that down, but his third base is delayed. Infestation Pit coming out from 2 bases here, and that's simply because he is, confined to these 2 bases.
Yep, when you're on 2 bases, you got to make every larva count, and Infestors are one way to really make that happen. He does have a macro hatchery, and once these rocks are gone, I think he's going to feel comfortable to take that third base because he can defend it so much more comfortably. The Infestation Pit is researching the pathogen glands. We do have Banelings, rather the 1/1 upgrades for Banelings and Zerglings on the way. Does he have a Baneling Nest? In fact, yeah. Doesn't have speed on the way just yet, though.
I wonder if Polt thinks he's playing against Mutalisks. He's now just starting his turrets on the exact timing, and I think that's the case here, considering he hasn't seen a third base, he hasn't seen any upgrades on the Lings until just now, and he's got to be careful here because it is Pathogen Glands, it is Infestors. Scan goes down to get rid of these creatures, which Red has been working so efficiently on planting down. Yep,
and he's going to take out several of those. Will he continue into the main base? No. He's taking out some more tumors, in fact, and he's not going to stop. Baneling speed is not done yet, but he's on creep, so he's going to have to be careful. He's going to have to use these Hellions in order to take out the Banelings.
Oh, and this is not so good for Red, to be honest. As long as he Polt micros well, I guess that's one way to get rid of that and just
that was so scary.
But he does clean a lot of creep again on this left-hand side. Oh my god, he's not going Infestors, he's gone straight to Hive here.
Yeah, this is something I would have never expected. He doesn't even have gases at his third base just yet. He doesn't have much of a buffer for those units. He does have, the Pathogen Glands upgrade, so he can make Infestors, but it doesn't seem to be his primary goal here. Oh, he's going to tear up this creep.
And, he can easily evacuate here if it was to get it in a bit of a sticky situation. But this Hive, if Polt somehow scans and sees it, he's going to be in such a great position. He's like, all right, cool. Looks like we're going to have this very, very fast Ultraless Cavern come down, and you're going to try and catch me by surprise, but I'm not surprised if I see it, of course. But Red, a big gamble here.
The creep spread has been really good for Rhett, but more so Polt's denial of the creep has been so important. If he tries to go for this Ultraless tech and run across the map, it's not necessarily going to be effective. Right now, Polt even has control of the watchtowers.
And Scan was used to actually clean up the link underneath the third command center door. Don't really expect a Scan to come down from Polt, who's probably thinking he's just playing against Ling, Infestor Baneling, and now knows his opponent's taking the third base, actually sees the swarm heading towards the Xel'Naga Tower, and I think this is going to go unscouted here. Red, though, hasn't thrown the Ultraless Cavern down yet. Upon the Hive finishing, he's actually throwing down a later Spire here, and that's kind of messing up a little bit with his timing.
Yeah.
If he wants to go Brutals, that is.
Yeah, this is a little bit weird, in fact. Now, these Infestors have shown themselves here. He's showing himself in the Watchtower. Polt could try to flank and catch those Infestors off guard.
Oh, he's actually going to burrow so the tank can't hit them. Polt must have seen that with the Xel'Naga Tower, but he does scan just in time.
He does scan and gets some of these Infestors. In fact, gets all of them.
Oh, Rhett is throwing away a lot of units here, and Polt easily holds on. And Rhett with some special tactics of his own there, but when the Marines on the Xel'Naga Tower seeing the Infestors jump underneath, that was pretty easy for Polt.
Yeah, he didn't even, it's almost as if he forgot the Xel'Naga was there. He walked right past it, above.
Are you all right there?
Now it's my turn, man. My mic's, he's messing with me, but Either way, it looks like I'm fine now. Greater Spire is on the way. +2 Carapace finishing up. +3 melee attacks on the way, and probably +3 Carapace soon to follow.
And, you know, very similar to the last game, if we look in the resources lost here, or units lost, should I say, there's a big difference between Polt and Ret already in this game, very similar to the game on Daybreak. And the Greater Spire is on its way, so we are actually not going to see Ultralisk, which is a little bit surprising here. He is going to go over into that Broodlord style, and let's have a look at Pulse Vision. Still doesn't know what is going on in terms of the tech tree for Ret. But Polt really doesn't care, man. He's got +3/3 coming on. He can easily throw down a 4th command center in this location, and he's actually sending Marines across, checking everything on the sides. And this game running smoothly, so smoothly for Polt.
Yeah, it definitely is. He's got that Marine count building up so high. It's over 50 now. He's got 74 SCVs to 82 drones. Ret's not really been able to shut him down in any way, not really been able to get any SCV kills. In the middle of the map, though, we're going to have some Infestors taking out a group of Marines.
Do get a few kills there, but there's a lot more from a lot more Marines behind that. And we do see Polt taking control of the Zelnaga Tower here. A Marine on the right-hand side. Oh, didn't quite spot that hatchery being planted down. But there is the 4th command center. And, you know, we talked about it time after time in this tournament. If he gets this 4th command center up, the pain is never going to stop for Ret.
That's absolutely the case. Getting some fungals here. I like what Ret is doing, trying to trade energy for units here. He's not really losing his Infestors this time. And earlier when he attacked, he lost all his Infestors. That was their critical weak point. 4 Broodlords are out, and so now he's got a decent amount of creep spread. He's got these Broodlords with Infestors, Zergling support. It's going to be difficult for Polt to really break him.
And Ret is gearing up to actually kill everything here from Polt. We do have the Broodlord's Morph and still has a lot of energy on these Infestors. These Lings are at 2-2, working on 3-3, and it will finish just ahead of his Terran opponent here. And Ret is building up a big army right now. Yeah, and will Polt be able to hold on to that area?
Well, he's going to lose perhaps half of his army. A little bit of hesitation here from Ret.
And Polt understanding that Ret is trying to swing around that left-hand side, pulls a lot of Marines. Tanks are left a little bit exposed here to the Broodlords, who are going to move in, immediately unsieged, and I don't even think he's going to lose that first tank.
No, well, it looks like just one tank going to go down. Remember, those Broodlings are heavily upgraded. Now the question is, what's Polt's next move? Will he be getting Vikings out very soon, or is Wolf going to lag the game and force a regame? I don't know, but I think he's going to actually get he needs to get some starports out here. Thors alone are not going to be enough for this because Ret does have those Infestors to support. Wow. He does have a really heavy Zergling count to support.
4 Medivacs 4 right now, headed right for the main base of Ret. At the same time, Ret is charging through towards this 3rd base. If Polt holds on, oh my god, this is so bad, but that's a good fungal there.
Yeah, that was definitely a good fungal. He's going to take out so many Marines here, and it continues. Ret is not going to stop.
Ret is never going to stop, but he has to smash everything here because he's about to lose the Hive and the Greater Spire, the Sporting Pool. Look how many Marines there are. Ret is scrambling to return. Broodlord's launching fire down onto that 3rd base, but I don't think he's doing the damage necessary.
I'm not sure, man, but the Greater Spire is going to fall. The Spawning Pool has already fallen. This is not looking good at all. The Command Center under fire here. He's going to be able to use that Command Center to buy himself a little bit of time. He's going to lift it at the last second, most likely.
The 3rd Command Center, though, is in danger of falling, and it has to be picked up. But right now, there's 5 Vikings in the production tab, Thors as well. This squad is going to get cleaned up, but look how many useless Corruptors there are. Well, I guess they can kind of come back and fight against the Vikings, but Ret's still charging through here. I'm very worried right now because the Corruptors are on the other side of the map.
Yeah, the 5 Vikings are trying to
Red, where's the fungal?
There, the fungal's a bit late here. The Vikings going to work with some support from the Thors, and it looks like Ret is going to lose these Broodlords. And Polt's going to be able to reclaim that command center. There's another command center on the right side. Things are looking really good for Polt right now.
Oh, Polt just waited for so long, and now the Spawning Pool is so far from coming back in. What really is he building here? Just Infestors? He doesn't have a Roach
Ultralisk Cavern. He's getting a Spire, but the Zergling count is just not there. He only has 23 Zerglings out right now. He's not making any more for quite some time, and that means that Polt can actually carefully move out here as long as he's patient. He can come through, and what is Ret going to do to stop him? He can't stop those Marines from getting under his Broodlords, from taking out hatcheries without any Zerglings to control the map with.
Oh, 8 Ultralists. I have a little feeling, such as Fruit Dealer in the GSL, man, when I saw those in the production tab. And well, let's see if this is going to work out.
It's a big commitment. That's a lot of resources spent by Rhett. We'll see if it pays off here.
Ultralisk. Remember, there's no Marauders whatsoever here, and there's a lot of useless Vikings. Rhett with a lane counterattack to the third base here, dealing damage. Will these Ultralisks come out in time? There's a couple going to spawn. I don't even know where they're coming from. The natural, I suppose. But Polt is pressuring the issue. Will Rhett be able to get them out in time?
Here they come. The first few are out, and the Marines are going to go to work on them. The Ultras are heavily upgraded. They don't have chitinous plating, though. The Thor doing some damage. The Marines pretty well split here, and even though he is forced to lift here, he's actually been forced back. Rhett still has a mining base at the 9 o'clock and at the 3 o'clock as well.
And these Vikings doing damage to these overlords all over the place. And the drop is going to happen on the left-hand side here. Ultralisk going to try and get behind the mineral line. It's going to be a little bit more awkward for them. Couple of swipes and Polt does pick up. Vikings still in the main base here. And he is just about to change. Well, he's not actually changing his composition whatsoever. Just continuing to overpower Rhett, who is down to just 126 supply here. Army supply 73.
Yeah, and those Vikings, man, are really going to come into play here. Once they kill the majority of these overlords over here, it may become a problem for Rhett. I'm not liking the situation he's in right now, as, you know, Polt surprisingly has not added any Marauders into the mix just yet. Even after scouting these Ultras, I think he perhaps expects his opponent won't be continuing Ultras production. He doesn't have any tech labs really to use. These Ultras are going to get caught pretty far away from any help.
Oh, these 3 Ultras, I have no idea. Distraction Ultralisk, because this command center is about to fall, and that's a win for Red, but he still has the problem of fighting this army. It's so incredibly strong on Red. And let's have a look at the unit tab. 6 Ultralisks, 3 Infestors. We have 3 more Ultralisks coming. Ling a counterattack again to this third base. Ret resilient here, but is he going to be able to take the head-to-head fight, which is inevitably going to happen?
That's going to be the most important question of this game, and I'm not sure if he can do it. The Marine count is up to 70 now. Does have 2 Thors in the mix and about 8 siege tanks to join him as well.
Oh, Red is going to go for it.
He is. I don't think this is the right moment. He's going to run away. The Ultralists do have a lot of hit points, so he will be able to escape with the majority of them, but how much time can he buy here? 5 Infestors are on the way against this very Marine-heavy composition. If he can get some key fungals off, he might be able to take this fight.
Oh, the tanks are going to do so much damage. They have +2 here, and as long as Polt controls his units well,
I don't like this engagement for Red. Yeah, this is not good for him at all. Now Polt has double the supply. He threw away his Ultralists without the Infestor support, and I think Polt is just going to take this game now. He's going to come over here, trash this 3 o'clock hatchery, and what can Rhett do as a result?
I don't think he can do anything here. Polt showing his expertise in this matchup.
Polt is going to the finals.
And he is happy. Did you see that grin? Another final. Polt is your first finalist here at the DreamHack EIZO Open. Very happy individual going over.
Well, welcome back to the cache. You've only dropped 1 map this entire tournament. You've kind of breezed your way through it. You seem like a man on a mission. Is anything but first place a failure for you here today?
그런 것까지는 생각해 본 적 없고요. 전 그냥 우승만 하면 정말 만족할 것 같아요. Well, as all of you understood, what do you say? 뭐라고 했죠? He'll be very satisfied to win. So yeah, he's aiming for the first place.
Oh, no shit. Okay. In Brood War, when a lot of the players won, they went back home and they actually bought dinner for their entire team. Are there any kind of traditions like that for TSL?
저 브루드워를 안 해봐서 그건 처음 알았고요. 뭐 저희는 의무는 아니지만 저는 거의 그걸 좋아하기 때문에 있을 것 같습니다.
I didn't play Brood War, so I didn't know about that. But it's not mandatory, but that will probably happen anyways.
So in the finals, you will either have Thorzane or Monster to meet you. Do you have more confidence in your TVT or your TVZ? Would you rather face a Korean or would you rather face Thorzane?
일단은 저그전보다는 테란전을 더 좋아하고요. 그리고 여기가 지금 스웨덴이니까 아무래도 스웨덴 선수와 결승전을 하는 게 좋을 것 같습니다.
First of all, I prefer to go against Terran, and since we're in Sweden, I would very much like to go against Swede in the final.
Well, thank you, Polt. And if he has it his way, we'll be seeing Thorzane in those finals, but he's got a big battle ahead of him, guys. So let's shoot it up to the casters.